Victor Newman orchestrates a major scheme on Monday's episode. He targets Kane Ashby with a calculated trap. This move involves an unlikely partnership with Jack Abbott. According to CBS daytime schedules, the episode airs September 29th. The drama unfolds in Genoa City. Victor summons his family to the Newman Ranch to reveal his plan. Business and family collide in high-stakes plot. Victor explains the temporary alliance with Jack Abbott. They plan to use Jill Abbott to influence Kane. The strategy aims to make Kane vulnerable before their attack. Nikki Newman expresses immediate concern. She fears Jill's personal dislike for her could backfire. Nick and Sharon also question the wisdom of this powerful collaboration. The business world faces parallel turmoil. Sally informs Audra that Abbott Communications may be back on track. This news frustrates their professional plans and launch party. Personal relationships face critical tests. Billy Abbott faces another rejection from his brother. Jack refuses to restore funding for Abbott Communications. He tells Billy he has pushed too far this time. Billy reassures Sally that their fight isn't over. Meanwhile, Claire Newman makes a decisive move about her relationship with Kyle. She tells him she needs to be independent. Claire realizes she rushed into the relationship. She needs to make her own mistakes without seeking permission from others. This emotional decision leads her to contact Holden about moving to LA. On The Young and the Restless, Sally, Courtney Hope, opens her heart to Jill, Jess Walton, leaving the latter to make a bold decision. While seeking guidance from Sharon Case, Tessa, Kate Fairbanks, mulls over her limited options when it comes to her marriage to Mariah Cameron Grimes. Elsewhere, after a confrontation with Diane, Susan Walters, Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott, is left contemplating what to do when Lauren, Tracy Bregman, puts all her cards on the table. Victor, Eric Braden, plots a trap for Kane, Billy Flynn, while also enjoying a game of sorts with Jack, Peter Bergman. Find out what else will happen during the week of September 29th to October 3rd, 2025 on The Young and the Restless below. In the high-stakes world of Genoa City, where fortunes are built on whispers and legacies are defended with ruthless precision, the clash between old money and new ambition is a perpetual source of drama. Few storylines exemplify this battle more than the current power struggle at Chancellor Winters, a crucible where the seasoned instincts of Nikki Newman are colliding with the strategic gambits of Audra Charles. At the heart of this conflict stands Jill Abbott, a titan of industry and a living legend whose recent actions have become a Rorschach test for the characters around her. While Nikki Newman views Jill's maneuvers with deep-seated suspicion, interpreting them as a prelude to a hostile takeover, Audra Charles looks on with sheer dismay. For Audra, Nikki's concerns are not just misguided, they are a catastrophic misreading of the board that threatens to undo everything she has worked to build. Her dismay stems from a fundamental divergence in perspective. Where Nikki sees a threat to be neutralized, Audra sees an opportunity to be embraced. And Nikki's interference risks inciting the very war she hopes to avoid. To understand the depth of Audra's dismay, one must first appreciate the chasm that separates her worldview from Nikki's. Nikki Newman is a product of Genoa City's entrenched class and corporate wars. She has spent decades alongside Victor Newman, the master of corporate raids and vengeful takeovers. Her life has been a series of battles against rivals like Jack Abbott, Ashland Locke, and even Jill herself in years past. For Nikki, the corporate landscape is a chessboard of known adversaries, and every move is calculated in terms of offense and defense. Her paradigm is one of siege mentality. When a powerful figure like Jill Abbott acquires a significant stake in a company and installs her son Billy in a leadership position, the alarm bells aren't just ringing. They are clanging with the familiar deafening peal of an impending attack. Nikki's concern is protective, rooted in a desire to shield her family's interests and maintain the status quo she has fought so hard to secure. Audra Charles, in stark contrast, is a creature of a different ecosystem. She is not to the manor born. She is a striver, a brilliant tactician who has used her intellect, charm, and relentless drive to climb the corporate ladder. Her perspective is not clouded by decades of personal vendettas, but is sharply focused on the bottom line and the potential for growth and influence. Where Nikki sees a potential corporate invader in Jill, Audra sees a legendary businesswoman and a potential ally with unparalleled resources and connections. Audra's vision for Chancellor Winters is likely one of aggressive expansion and market dominance, and she correctly identifies Jill Abbott not as an obstacle, but as the single greatest catalyst to achieve that vision. Jill's investment isn't a threat, it's a validation and a turbo boost. This is the core of Audra's initial frustration. She is trying to play a game of high-stakes, modern corporate strategy, while Nikki is stuck in a cycle of ancient family feuds. Audra's plans likely involve leveraging Jill's capital, influence, and industry respect to launch new initiatives, acquire competitors, or break into new markets. She sees a golden opportunity to transform Chancellor Winters from a respected, stable company into a dominant, dynamic powerhouse. Nikki's concerns, therefore, feel antiquated and parochial. They are a relic of a bygone era, threatening to stifle progress before it even begins. Audra's dismay is the exasperation of a visionary being told to fear success by someone who cannot see beyond the ghosts of rivalries past. Furthermore, Nikki's vocal suspicions are not a harmless difference of opinion. In Audra's eyes, they are actively dangerous. Corporate governance relies on a delicate balance of power and a semblance of unity among major shareholders. By openly questioning Jill's motives, Nikki is creating instability and sowing seeds of distrust within the very boardroom that needs cohesion. This has several immediate and damaging consequences. First, it paints a target on Chancellor Winters. The business world, especially in a town as incestuous as Genoa City, thrives on perception. If the word on the street is that the Newman faction is at odds with the Abbott faction within Chancellor Winters, it signals weakness to competitors and makes the company vulnerable to external market manipulations or even a genuine hostile takeover from a third party. Nikki, in her quest to fortify against a perceived internal threat, is potentially weakening the company's external defenses. Second, Nikki's behavior is profoundly insulting to Jill. Jill Abbott has earned her status through decades of shrewd business acumen. To reduce her strategic investment to a mere Trojan horse for a Newman vendetta is to disrespect her intelligence and her legacy. Audra understands that in the world of high finance, relationships are currency. Alienating a figure of Jill's stature is not just bad politics, it is commercial suicide. By treating Jill as an enemy, Nikki is forcing Jill to become an enemy. Audra's dismay is rooted in the terrifying realization that Nikki's paranoia could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If Jill feels disrespected, undermined, and constantly suspected, she may very well decide that the only way to protect her investment and her son's position is to seize full control. Exactly the outcome Nikki fears most. Nikki isn't preventing a war. She's mobilizing the troops for one.